Tupac's family is now trying to figure out maybe there's some sort of relation into the hit on Tupac with Diddy. What can you tell us about this?
Yeah, because basically the way we are hearing this is their eyebrows were collectively raised last week when Keffe D, the guy who's going to stand trial for Tupac's murder, was in court trying to get released on bail.
Flamingo and Koval at a spot made infamous by one of the Valley's highest profile killers that has gone unsolved for decades. Rapper Tupac Shakur died after a drive-by shooting here in 1996. Now, nearly 3 decades later, a suspect is finally in jail.
Seen all on the news. Like, damn, I got away.
That was Dwayne Keffe Davis's reaction after Tupac's recounted during a podcast.
After years of whispers and speculation, Tupac's family is finally breaking their silence with explosive revelations that could turn the music world on its head. They've uncovered shocking evidence exposing how Diddy might have been behind their son's death. We all know Diddy ain't new to drama, but this takes it to a whole new level. Trust me, this isn't just another rumor. It's an information that might redefine everything we thought we knew about Tupac's tragic death. How deep does this go, and what exactly have they uncovered? Let's find out. September 7th, 1996. The MGM Grand in Las Vegas pulsed with energy. Mike Tyson, the undisputed heavyweight champion, was set to defend his title against Bruce Seldon. The air crackled with anticipation, with the scent of cigar smoke and the promise of violence. Among the star-studded crowd, 2 figures stood out: Tupac Shakur, hip-hop's firebrand poet, and Suge Knight, the imposing CEO of Death Row Records. They laughed and joked, unaware that the night's festivities would soon spiral into a nightmare. The fight ended quickly, Tyson's fists ensuring Seldon's stay in the ring was brief. As the crowds began to clear out, Tupac and his entourage made their way through the casino. The night was young, Vegas was waiting, and the mood was celebratory. But then, a chance encounter changed everything. In the hotel lobby, amidst the sea of faces, Tupac's crew spotted Orlando Anderson, a member of the Southside Compton Crips gang. Anderson represented more than just a rival gang member. He was a symbol of disrespect, a living reminder of a recent humiliation. Earlier that day, whispers had spread through Tupac's circle about the stolen Death Row medallion. The heavy gold chain, a symbol of status and loyalty, had been ripped from Lane's neck by Crip members. Seeing Anderson, the perceived culprit, something snapped inside Tupac. The rapper's eyes flashed with fury, his body coiled like a spring. In an instant, the lobby erupted into chaos. Fists flew, bodies slammed against marble floors, and shouts echoed off the high ceilings. Security cameras silently captured the brutal beatdown as Tupac and his crew unleashed their pent-up rage on Anderson. Outnumbered and overwhelmed, Anderson could do little but try to protect himself from the onslaught. As quickly as it began, the fight was over, but fate had other plans. This brief, violent encounter in the MGM Grand lobby had set in motion a chain of events that would end in tragedy. As Tupac and Suge cruised down the strip in a black BMW later that night, a white Cadillac pulled up alongside them at a red light. Gunshots erupted from the Cadillac, hitting Tupac multiple times. He would die from his injuries 6 days later, on September 13, 1996. For nearly 3 decades, the case went unsolved. Theories and rumors swirled, but no arrests were made. That is until July 17, 2023, when Las Vegas police raided a home in Henderson, Nevada linked to Dwayne Keffe D. Davis, a former gang leader who had long been suspected of involvement in Tupac's murder. The raid yielded crucial evidence, including a .40 caliber cartridge, the same type of ammunition used in Tupac's shooting. On September 29, 2023, Keffe D was arrested and charged with murder. But this was just the beginning.
Investigators say Davis confessed to his involvement in the case, giving full details of how he and co-conspirators killed the late rapper.
As investigators dug deeper, a far more sinister plot began to emerge, one that implicated hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs as the mastermind behind Tupac's killing. Keffe D had long claimed that Diddy offered him $1 million to kill Tupac and Suge Knight. For years, these allegations were dismissed as unsubstantiated rumors. However, with Keffe D's recent arrest and the resurfacing of these claims, Tupac's family is now coming forward with explosive new evidence that corroborates Keffe D's story and exposes Diddy's alleged role in the murder. Mopreme Shakur, Tupac's stepbrother, revealed that Diddy had frantically called him shortly after Tupac's death, desperately trying to proclaim his innocence. This panicked attempt at damage control now takes on a far more sinister tone in light of recent developments.
Called me, he was like, I just want you to know I ain't have nothing to do with your brother's, you know, I know who you are, but we never met. And I just want to call you man to man, let you know that I have nothing to do with your brother's death.
But to truly understand the events that led to that fateful night in Vegas, we need to go back in time, back to the origins of one of hip-hop's most bitter and deadly feuds. The rivalry between East Coast and West Coast rappers was not just about music, it was personal. It was fueled by jealousy, betrayal, and bloodshed. Tupac had been shot in 1994 at Quad Studios in New York City, a shooting he believed was orchestrated by Diddy's crew. This incident ignited a firestorm of animosity between them. In interviews over the years, Keffe D has repeatedly stated that Diddy wanted Tupac out of the picture due to his rising influence and rivalry with Bad Boy Records. Davis claimed that during heated discussions among gang members about their disdain for Tupac's taunts towards Diddy, Combs allegedly expressed his desire for violence against both Tupac and Suge Knight. Davis recalled how Combs once said he would give anything for Knight's head, a chilling admission made in front of dozens of witnesses. This fear-driven animosity created a perfect storm for violence. As we delve deeper into these allegations against Diddy, it becomes clear that this story is not merely about music or fame. It's about life and death decisions made under pressure. Now, as Tupac's family seeks justice for their lost loved one, they are armed with new evidence and a fierce determination to uncover the truth behind his murder, a truth that may finally expose Sean Combs' alleged involvement once and for all. The East Coast-West Coast rivalry of the 1990s hip-hop scene was more than just a musical feud. It was a powder keg of violence, paranoia, and betrayal that ultimately claimed the lives of two of the genre's brightest stars. At the center of this maelstrom were Tupac Shakur and Christopher Notorious B.I.G. Wallace, former friends turned bitter enemies whose conflict would come to define an era. The turning point came on November 30th, 1994, when Tupac was shot 5 times in the lobby of Quad Recording Studios in New York City. Though he survived, the incident left deep physical and emotional scars. Tupac became convinced that Biggie and Sean "Diddy" Combs, the founder of Bad Boy Records, were behind the attack. This suspicion was only intensified by the involvement of Tupac's former friend, Stretch, in the incident.
Pac and Stretch were best friends. Pac and Stretch were best friends. Stretch was with him when he got shot at Quad. And after that, Stretch went on tour with Biggie. So anybody familiar with our clique would understand that that's weird.
Mopreme Shakur, Tupac's stepbrother, later explained how Stretch's subsequent appearances with Biggie raised serious red flags within Tupac's inner circle. Tupac came from a family of Black Panthers and revolutionaries. His outspoken activism and growing influence made him a target for those in power who feared his message. This included law enforcement, who had long kept the Shakur family under surveillance.
They've always been there. They've always been there, around us, watching us, all up on us. But then Pac actually shot a cop, you know. So the diehards is gonna hate him forever, even though the cops were wrong, in the wrong.
Tupac's shooting of 2 off-duty police officers in Atlanta in 1993 only intensified this scrutiny. Though the charges were later dropped when it was determined Tupac had acted in self-defense, the incident left a lasting mark on his relationship with law enforcement. Some have speculated that this history made authorities reluctant to thoroughly investigate his murder years later. The conflict between Death Row Records and Bad Boy Entertainment became a proxy war for larger forces at play. Suge Knight, the imposing head of Death Row, cultivated an image of street credibility and West Coast dominance. On the other side was Sean "Diddy" Combs, a shrewd businessman who was rapidly building an East Coast empire.
You know, it'd be feeling like he got sympathy for Puffy because he was scared. Yeah, he was scared. Yes, I agree. I do agree that he was probably terrified for his life.
According to Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, a former gang member and key figure in the investigation, Diddy was so scared of Tupac and Suge Knight. This fear, Keefe D. alleged, drove Diddy to take drastic action, putting out a hit on the two men he saw as his greatest rivals. The plan, as Keefe D. described it in interviews with authorities, was set in motion on September 7, 1996, in Las Vegas. After the Mike Tyson fight at the MGM Grand, Tupac and his entourage attacked Orlando Anderson, Keefe D's nephew, in the lobby. This altercation would prove to be the spark that ignited the powder keg. Later that night, Keefe D and Anderson, along with two other men, cruised the Vegas Strip in a white Cadillac. They were allegedly armed with a .40 caliber Glock provided by Eric Von Zip Martin, an associate of Diddy's. As they pulled up alongside Tupac and Suga's BMW at a red light, shots rang out from the back seat of the Cadillac.
Hey, this Tupac, it's Tupac. And we let that came up on the side of him.
I read in the book, you said that it looked like you guys rolled up and Pac reached.
Looked like you was reaching, yeah, it looked like you was ready to bust our and she like we was the first ones.
Yeah.
Luckiest one, I guess. Hit that corner, gave a little chase, boom, boom, boom.
Tupac was hit multiple times, while Suga escaped with only minor injuries. The shooting lasted mere seconds, but its impact would be felt for decades to come. Tupac died 6 days later, on September 13th, 1996. He was just 25 years old. For years, the prevailing theory was that Orlando Anderson had pulled the trigger, but recent revelations have cast doubt on this narrative. In court filings from December 2023, prosecutors claimed that it was actually DeAndre Big Dre Smith, another passenger in the Cadillac, who fired the fatal shots.
DeAndre Big Dre Smith, who fired the fatal shots that led to the eventual death of Shakur. Denvanta Lee told the grand jury the reason for the shooting was revenge for a beating suffered by Anderson on September 6th at the MGM Grand.
This new information adds another layer of complexity to an already convoluted case. But regardless of who actually pulled the trigger, one thing remains clear in the eyes of Keefe D, and now Tupac's family. The order allegedly came from the very top, from Sean Diddy Combs himself. The alleged motive was a toxic combination of fear, jealousy, and a desperate attempt to maintain control over the hip-hop industry. Tupac's rising star threatened Diddy's dominance, and the escalating feud between Death Row and Bad Boy had reached a point of no return.
It was like regional, who's the regional king of the hill? New York felt like because it was rap, they should be number one. The West Coast was in the game and they was getting money.
But it wasn't just about business. There was a personal element to the feud as well. Tupac's accusations that Diddy and Biggie were behind the Quad Studios shooting had damaged their reputations. In the hyper-masculine world of 90s hip-hop, such disrespect could not go unanswered. The tragedy of it all is that, according to Mopreme Shakur, there was a time when Tupac and Bad Boy were on good terms. In fact, Tupac had even considered signing with the label before joining Death Row.
Considering going to Bad Boy before his relationship with Death Row. He's considering going to Bad Boy because he wanted to be on a black label. He wanted to be with his people. He wanted to be with the brothers. You know what I mean? He supported black business.
As the evidence mounts and Tupac's family continues to speak out, the walls appear to be closing in on Sean Diddy Combs. While the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department has stated that Diddy is not currently considered a suspect in their investigation, the court of public opinion may prove to be a different matter entirely. Mopreme Shakur and other family members have expressed frustration with what they see as a reluctance by authorities to fully investigate Diddy's alleged role in the murder. They argue that if prosecutors are using Keefe D's statements to build their case against him, they cannot simply ignore his claims about Diddy's involvement.
I haven't heard anything about Puffy from the prosecutor's office, even though Keefe D implicates him on these videos that they claim they're using to indict him.
In response, the family has reportedly hired a team of lawyers and private investigators to conduct their own inquiry into Diddy's potential involvement. Their goal is to uncover any evidence that might corroborate Keffe D's allegations and potentially lead to criminal charges against the music mogul. We're confident they will surface potential evidence, including more legal docs, a source close to the family told TMZ. The team is said to be focusing on running down any and all leads they can find related to Diddy's alleged connection to the murder. But even as they push for justice, the Shakur family remains cautious. The pain of losing Tupac, a son, a brother, an icon, still lingers nearly 3 decades later. Mopreem's words paint a touching picture of Tupac as not just a larger-than-life figure, but as a young man struggling to navigate the treacherous waters of fame and an often hostile industry. "He was just a kid, man," Mopreem said in a recent interview. "A kid with big dreams and a bigger heart. He wanted to change the world, and in many ways, he did." The ripple effects of Tupac's murder touched countless lives. Just 6 months after Tupac's death, Notorious B.I.G. was gunned down in Los Angeles, a killing many saw as retaliation for Tupac's murder. Tupac was more than just a rapper, Mopreem explained. He was a voice for the voiceless, a revolutionary in the truest sense of the word. "We owe it to him and to all those he inspired to make sure his story is told. The full story, not just the headlines."
Yeah, we have a lot of work to do. Like I said, my book should be out early spring, This Thug's Life, on Scrib. We have a lot of IP that we can exploit. We have a lot of stories, and it's just which one's gonna be first. My father just passed away, so we're working on getting his material published, his books. We have, Pac. We need another Pac story, right? Then I have a story. Me and Pac, the brothers, how we came up. Then it's my father's story. Then it's the family story. We got a lot of IP, and somebody need to give us like a couple $100 million. So let me get busy.
As for Sean Diddy Combs, the future remains uncertain. While he has vehemently denied any involvement in Tupac's murder, the court of public opinion may prove to be unforgiving. Recent legal troubles, including a lawsuit alleging sexual assault, have already damaged his reputation. If concrete evidence emerges linking him to Tupac's murder, it could spell the end of one of hip-hop's most successful and controversial figures. The investigation into Tupac's murder continues to evolve, with new revelations and twists emerging even after nearly 3 decades. The arrest of Keffe D in September 2023 marked a significant breakthrough, but it also raised new questions about the extent of the conspiracy surrounding Tupac's death. As the case moves forward, the hip-hop community and fans around the world watch with bated breath. Will justice finally be served for Tupac Shakur? Will the full truth of that fateful night in Las Vegas ever come to light? And what will be the ultimate legacy of this tragic chapter in hip-hop history? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain: the story of Tupac Shakur, his life, his music, and his untimely death continues to captivate and inspire nearly 30 years after his passing. In death, as in life, Tupac remains a figure of profound cultural significance, a symbol of both the promise and the perils of speaking truth to power. And so, the investigation into Tupac's murder carries on, with each new piece of evidence bringing us closer to the truth of that tragic night in Las Vegas. For Tupac's family and his legion of devoted fans, his legacy remains a powerful force in hip-hop and beyond. Mopreem Shakur reminds us that the quest for justice is not just a family affair, it's a movement. As whispers of Diddy's potential involvement intensify, we find ourselves on the edge of a monumental revelation that could shake the very foundations of the music industry. This story is far from over. The truth is out there, waiting to be revealed, and you won't want to miss a single moment of it. To stay in the loop as developments unfold, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell, because the unfolding drama of Tupac's legacy is just beginning, and the biggest scandal in hip-hop history is about to blow wide open. And when it does, nothing will ever be the same again.